Well, good morning, and I want to thank everyone for joining us here today as we are set to sign the fifth One San Diego budget. And we're here, of course, at the city's Choias Operation Yard because this budget is all about putting neighborhoods first. And this yard is where many of the hardworking city employees who provide services to the neighborhood throughout our city are stationed. They do fantastic work, as I said, in every single neighborhood. And I want to start by thanking all of San Diego's 11,000 employees for all of the work that they do each and every day. Every year, we put together a budget that's based on our collective priorities. And we ask then our employees to put that plan into action. And they do it very, very well. So let's give them a round of applause, guys. Thank you very much. It's a lot of work, obviously, of my team, our council members, focused to make sure that this is an efficient, streamlined, and balanced budget that keeps the focus on San Diego neighborhoods. Maintaining the core neighborhood services that we've restored in recent years, and making the largest infrastructure investment that this city has ever seen. This budget continues the progress that we've made when it comes to fixing our roads, reducing homelessness, and helping to get people into stable housing, keeping libraries and rec centers open for our children and families, and creating more housing affordability for working families, and maintaining public safety with a big emphasis on hiring more police officers to overcome SDPT's recruitment and retention challenges. As many of you know, we have been projecting several lean budgets in the years ahead. But thankfully, the council joined me last year in making some very tough decisions, like cutting $18 million in ongoing expenses and agreeing with my plan to pre-fund our reserves. Prudent decisions that are still saving us money and are setting us up for not only a better budget this year, but in the years to come. Coupled with my call for department directors to hold the line on spending, the result is a fiscally responsible budget that we can all be proud of. I have prioritized what is important to San Diegans: neighborhood services, quality of life, public safety, and infrastructure investment. And I'm very happy to say that this year, the city will surpass $500 million in infrastructure funding for the first time in the city's history. $559 million to be exact. That's more than triple the infrastructure funding since I took office in 2014. We're talking about new sewer and water lines, street repair, park improvements, bike lanes, sidewalks, and more neighborhood upgrades throughout the entire city. This budget keeps us on pace to fix 1,000 miles of roads over 5 years, with funding for the equivalent of 390 miles of street repair in this budget. And it supports my reforms to tackle San Diego's housing crisis and to help make housing more affordable. It continues funding for programs to reduce homelessness, including 3 bridge shelters, a safe parking program, a new storage center, and a new housing navigation center. And it directs millions to help us increase our local water supply through our Pure Water water recycling project. And of course, it funds the largest recruitment and retention package in San Diego Police Department history. It invests in police, fire, lifeguard academies, and it creates a new neighborhood policing division to focus on quality of life issues. It expands our Clean SD initiative with more cleanup crews throughout the entire city. And it funds projects that support our climate action plan. Staffs 2 new libraries and 10 new facilities and open spaces in our park system. And of course, it continues the commitment that we've had to our celebrated arts and cultural institutions. And it plans for the future, which is very important, by fully funding the reserves to our policy targets. It replenishes the pension payment stabilization reserve. And it keeps hours at libraries and recreation centers at their highest level in a decade. San Diego's economy remains strong, but balancing this budget wasn't easy. We've been forced to do some belt tightening, but the bottom line is that the core services that San Diegans rely on won't be affected. While we are moving in the right direction, we still have a long way to go because of the decades of past neglect by city leaders. And I'm looking forward to voters having the chance to vote on a plan this November, a plan to finally give San Diego the dedicated local funds we need to finish the job on road repair and our homeless crisis. In conclusion, this budget makes strategic reductions and strategic additions to keep City Hall's focus on our neighborhoods. We're still investing in neighborhoods throughout the city. We're fixing streets at a record pace. And we're investing more infrastructure more than ever before because that's what San Diegans deserve, and that's exactly what they're going to get. We're making good on our promise, our collective promise, to make neighborhood funding the top priority in our budget. I want to thank a few people before I turn it over to the council president here that helped put this budget together. It's a lot of work that goes into it for months and months. Particularly, I want to thank our Chief Financial Officer, Orlando Charvel, our Financial Management Director, Tracy McCraner, our Financial Management Deputy Director, Matt Vespi, our Budget Coordinator, Adrian Del Rio, and all of their dedicated staff. They did a terrific job. Thank you guys so very much. I'd also like to thank our Chief Operating Officer, Chris Michelle, our Assistant Chief Operating Officer, Stacy Lomenico, my Director of Budget and Finance Policy, Jessica Lawrence, my Deputy Chief of Staff and Chief of Policy and Innovation, Almas Udris, and all of our department directors and city management team, many of them who are here today. Everyone has put a lot of work in making significant contributions to this budget. And lastly, I want to thank the City Council for all of the work that they have done, the additions and changes that they made in this budget, which I strongly support. And I thank them even more so for their unanimous vote on this budget. We solve problems when we work together. We solve problems when we focus on San Diego's neighborhoods. When we do that, that's how we move our great city forward. And so now I'd like to introduce our City Council President, Myrtle Cole, to say a few words. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you and good afternoon. I'm excited to stand here today with Mayor Faulconer and Councilmember Kersey for the Fiscal Year 2019 Budget signing ceremony. I would like to thank the Mayor for presenting us with a balanced budget. I know it is not easy, but I know that all of our needs were considered in the process. I would especially like to thank the IDA and our staff for all of their work. I have expressed my concern for obtaining the basic needs in my communities, and I'm thrilled to say that with the budget modifications, $882,000 will go to tree trimming, $300,000 will go to graffiti abatement, and over $3 million will go to street lights. This budget also includes $18 million for projects to support Vision Zero goals, including bike facilities, sidewalks, traffic signals, crosswalks, and traffic calming measures. Additionally, as the mayor said, this budget will maintain recreation center and library hours at the highest level in a decade. I want to ensure our community that I will be working with my fellow council members and the IBA to bring the highest level of service in all communities. Every community deserves to have the basic necessities to help people thrive, and this budget helps achieve that goal. Thank you so much, and Councilmember Kersey, please.
Thank you, Council President.
Well, thank you, Council President Cole, and thank you, Mayor Faulconer. It is very good to be here today for this budget signing on what is, I would describe as a very, very good news budget for the citizens of San Diego. And this is a unique one. It sets the tone for years to come as we continue our investments in core government responsibilities like infrastructure. In FY19, as you've heard, we're investing $559 million for capital projects, which is the largest infrastructure investment in the city's history. And that is, to put that in perspective, that number has more than tripled since just 5 years ago. This next budget invests $76 million in funding to fix the equivalent of 390 miles of streets across all 9 city council districts, making for safer, pothole-free streets. We're also investing $18 million for projects to support Vision Zero safety goals, including bike facilities, sidewalks, traffic signals, crosswalks, and traffic calming measures. I'm personally proud that Prop H created the infrastructure fund, and that's going to dedicate an additional $17.1 million to meaningful infrastructure improvements without raising a single dime in taxes. It'll go towards priority sidewalk repair and reconstruction, some of which you may have seen on the way in with Euclid Avenue improvements, which I know our council president is very excited to see. And I will say that there is no greater advocate for sidewalk repair and installation in the city than our council president. I don't think a week goes by without Myrtle talking about the need for sidewalks. So that's right. A round of applause is absolutely in order. And so we're going to see priority sidewalk repair, street resurfacing, new street lights, and park security lighting upgrades throughout the city. As we approved this budget at City Council yesterday, it was encouraging to see so many of my colleagues take interest in what the infrastructure fund can do for the city moving forward and how it's able to address in a very flexible way neglected yet extremely important projects in every council district. The infrastructure fund shows that we have skin in the game from the city's general fund, that the city has a long-term commitment to investing in our neighborhood improvements. Long after this mayor and this council are out of office, I am proud that the voters, through Prop H, are helping set the city up for success in continuing to rebuild San Diego. We're not going to address all of our infrastructure needs in 1 year, but we are making significant progress. And this investment shows that we are serious about upgrading and making these neighborhood improvements. And so I want to thank the mayor and the council president and all of our colleagues for their continued commitment to infrastructure. And I just want to say how excited I am to continue to rebuild San Diego neighborhoods now and for future generations. Thank you very much.
All right, let's sign that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Come around, guys. Come on in. Everybody come around. Make this official. Get all these out. Right there. All right, ready? How's that? Yeah. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
All right, it's official. Congratulations.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.